Praising Almighty God Allah, standing honor to his luster, true and divine prophet, noble Drew Ali, hyphenated Jesus of Nazareth. Asiatic history, so-called Black history, is approaching the Asiatic history. That's always been there. The Black history is going to pass, and we're going to get our true history. Because according to history, these people right here that are just as dark as you are, they do not say that they are black. Again, Black history approaching Asiatic history. A Kenyan child from Kenya in Africa. A Ugandan child, just as dark as you and I are. One of the queens of Africa, Zaire. Nowhere in the writing describing her will you find the word black. A queen of antiquity. Nandi, queen of the Zulus. Nowhere in the description of these queens will you find that these people, or they refer to themselves as black. Not even African. Queen, king, queen, great kings and queens. And in nowhere in this description will you find that they refer to themselves as blacks. A king, a queen, a king, a Nigerian, just as dark as you and I are. Ghana. These people with a nation do not make reference to themselves as blacks. We're talking about the other side of Black history. I'm making reference to the other side of Black history. This is where they put our flag. For those of us that call themselves black, this is where your flag is. An event that you didn't know, when you call yourself black, this is what you're saying that you are. here is your description. When somebody goes to look up the black man, the black woman, this is the description that they're going to come up with, as well as white. And here again is the black flag. This is part one of a three-part segment giving the other side to the so-called Black History Month. We're going to give it the true name, the Asiatic History Month. And here we're talking about the great emancipator. Had it not been for this man, this man would have kept you in bondage. We would still be in physical bondage to this day. It was this man that freed the Moors through the 13th Amendment with 20 sections in 1865. It was this man that vowed to return us back to slavery. It was this man the anti-slavery man that shed the blood of his heirs and his children and his children's children to free you from bondage. And coming out of bondage, this is pretty much has been what our problem has been. Our leaders coming from this leader or spokesman of our people at that time. Our people since this man right here, Frederick Douglass. This is the leadership that he inspired. Our leaders on the string, puppets, been dangled by the master puppeteers. And some of those that are dangled from that string are these people right here. And in 1997, I sat in many meetings in Washington, D.C., when this woman called to bring law against the CIA for putting drugs in our neighborhood. And this one, as well as this one, puppeteers. And here's what happened in 1997. She had a mass demonstration here in Washington, D.C. about supporting her to go up against the CIA, indict them for putting drugs in our neighborhoods. But all we got out the deal was her being a puppet, a token. And this march right here in 2007 says that if we were citizens of the United States, if we were citizens of this government, we wouldn't have to keep going to have a voting right authorization, reauthorized to vote. Because citizens, we're the only people that have to do that. I think the magazine Emerge crime pays. cashing in on black prisoners when racial identity matters. Well, take a look at this, brothers and sisters. Every time I see this, I think about the $30 billion, $200 million public safety and correctional service President Bill Clinton signed into law to build prisons. That we became state property, not federal property, state property of the United States. $30 billion, $200 million for public safety and correctional services. They built up all these underground jails and put our people in them, so-called blacks. We're talking about Black History Month to talk about some of the things of black that are black. Black, according to science, means death. I listen to the blacks all day, every day on the news and all over the medias talking about reparation, how everybody else got money for being in their condition, but we haven't got any. And they're not going to give blacks any because they're doing poorly with what it is that they have already. They're not going to build a nation. They're not going to come into nationhood. Again, this is part 1 of a part 2 segment. Black History Month. The so-called Black History Month. Brothers and sisters, you're not black. You're not. And as long as you call yourself these things, you're going to be treated as what the word black means, for which means death. You're going to be treated like black people. You're going to go to school and learn about death, drugs, etc. Things of death. These people are not black. You are not black. On the map, there is no continent, there's no nationality of black. Even though you scholars out there are writing books today making reference to a place in the middle of Africa being Negro and black. And I even saw one reference to a colored land in Africa. And because you're trying to solidify being black. But it's not going to work. Why haven't we learned all of these years, coming through slavery, coming through poverty, coming through welfare, coming through rides, coming through homelessness, shelter, drugs? Why haven't we learned that you cannot force being black on this people, on this government? The next segment will be posted this time next week to give you some time to make your comments about this segment. And again, this, if it had not been for this man right here, that this man gathered this army to fight this army. Because this army got a capital, a flag, a general, a government, a people, an army, all to keep you in slavery. They fought. So it's not strange that we have the Democrats fighting the Republicans today, because the Democrats don't want the Republicans to win, because the Republicans are going to set you free. The Republican Party, the party of Lincoln, is opposed to slavery in any form. Any form. But this man is pro-slavery. May Allah bless us all in love to each other. I pray I touch some nerves. I'm Sheikh Clarence Prather-EL of the Most High Temple of America. And I'm saying that you're not black. And I'm saying if you want some changes, if you want things to change, stop calling yourself black. Ain't nothing else going to happen but what's been happening. Come into the knowledge of who you are, that you are not black people, Afro-Americans. It was this man right here that coined the phrase through Thurgood Marshall that we're African Americans. He didn't even know who we are. He don't even know who he is. We are somebody. But who are those bodies that he claimed that we are? A singer. All four of these people across this board, even Pelosi in the background. Democrats, pro-slavers. It was this man right here. Had it not been for this man right here, your mothers and your fathers would have been in slavery, still in slavery, and that's where we would be today. Had it not been for the 16th president. 15 presidents before this man held us in bondage. It wasn't until this man, a Republican, set us free. And no matter what you say about how we did it, he did it. He put it in law, and he put it out and shed it in blood to free you. And you got the nerve to hate him, to dislike him. You better honor this man. These are the ones you shouldn't be honoring. Puppets. See you next week this time for the second portion of the Asiatic History Month. As you can see, Asiatic history is right there. It's right here, brothers and sisters. We have it in the Moorish Science Temple of America. We don't hate our people. We love our people. We're not trying to make money off of you. We're just trying to tell you to come and hear the truth about your nationality and your birthrights, and know that you are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopian, because these are names that were given to slaves. And any man, woman, child out there that call you a Negro, black, or color is a slave holder or a slave catcher. Peace and love. See you next week.